Disappointing into the softball season. There's no two ways around that. One and done in the playoffs. That's not what we're about as a franchise. That's not what we're about as an organization. We're about winning championships. We're about winning at the highest level. We're about parades. We're about rings. We're about cementing ourselves in the history of the sport. We'll get better as an organization. As a player, I'll get better. I'll look at what I need to do. You know, it's hard to do much better than I did, but this season. But I'll look at what I need to do. So, any consideration to potentially your contract being up? Look, guys, season just ended. You know, just went to war with those guys. I'm not interested in talking about that right now. So, are you upset with the way that game was officiated? No comment. So, what do you think about the performance of some of the other guys on your team? No comment. Slightly, do you think that you should have been better as a team? I'm fucking it. Let's go, boys. Kid was behind me the whole time. Stream health poor. Please use. Is the stream good? Use a key frame frequency of 4 seconds or less. I've never gotten this fucking message before. I got a lot to talk about. Today might be contentious with the chat. I got to be honest with you. We'll see how it pans out. I've got a lot of opinions and a lot of takes. I mean, it's okay with Wordle, but good with Mavs content. Luka slander at an all-time high. All-time high? You guys think it's at an all-time high? Paul, 5 memberships. Come on, Paul. Come on, everyone. Let's hear it. Paul. I was about to say, I don't think it's as high as it's ever been. Honest to God, I think it was worse last year after the finals. Like, I think that was probably the worst it's been, if not the year he missed the playoffs. But even then, I think it's... All right, here we go. Not a bad start. Not a bad start. Not a bad start at all. Let's go. All right. All right, hold on, guys. Hold on. I know it's probably staring me down. Who's? All right, come on, guys. Good work. Easy. Easy. Now this is the game we're really good at. All right. Torso, rib, wing. No. Statue. Support, relief. Break. Relief, break could be one. Post, break. Bust, statue. Bust, statue. Prop. No. Rib, a wing. Rib, wing. No. Goose. Wild goose chase. Goose chase. Any other chases? A rib chase. Dog. Hot dog. Hot wing. Hot rib. Hot turtle. Get your hot turtle here. Link. Post. Okay. All right. Struggling a little bit here. Struggling a little bit. Brace and support, I could see very much being linked. Brace, support, relief. I just don't know what the fourth one would be. Okay, this one's difficult. Let's just shuffle. Maybe that tells us something. What could dog be? What could dog be? Dog walk, walking the dog, walking the goose. No, dog. Mm, 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 mm. Relief, support. There's just not another one that makes sense. Statue and bust almost have to be together. Like, there's almost no way that those two aren't together. And like, maybe prop could be in there. Maybe. That doesn't make much sense to me. I'm getting close to looking at the chat because I don't want this to carry on too long. Could there be like a bust just as like a chest thing to go along with torso? And rib? And wing? I mean, that doesn't make any fucking sense at all to me. I'm just going to send it. No, I'm not. That's a terrible one. I'm going to send it. Okay. Not even a one-off. That was a horrible guess. Just literally as bad as it gets. Quite literally as terrible as it gets. I mean, I'm missing something. Break. Break up. Post-break. Break. We're taking a break. Break. I'm going to break it. I'm going to break you. I'm going to break. Let's take a break. Little relief. Right? Post. Doesn't make any fucking sense. This one is brutal. Are we dealing with some dumb shit here? Are we dealing with some stupid shit? Am I looking at Link the wrong way? Is that referring to Legend of Zelda character Link? Green. Link is green. A turtle is often considered green. Statue of Liberty is green. A bottle of Heineken is green. Brace for impact. No. You wear a brace if you've suffered an injury. I mean, am I wrong? Statue and bust have to be together. Have to be. Guys, I'm clueless. I'm about to look at the chat. Support, release, brace, prop. Support, relief, brace, prop. Barbecue, hot dog, hot wing, hot link, and then a hot rib. Okay. Yeah. All right. That makes sense. All right. Barbecue offering. Okay. All right. breakneck, turtleneck, bottleneck. Wow. But what's the next one? Neck brace. That could be it. Oh, wow. Gooseneck. Okay. All right. Whoa. Shams. Gregg Popovich will no longer be the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. Oof. That's actually low-key a bomb. No, I'm not a troll, literally. All right, let's finish this so we can get to stuff. We can't lose one. Oh, I mean, I don't read the chat when I'm playing these. All right, what's the last one here? Best, I've seen your chat about 5 times. Okay, me anytime Slightly plays these games to start the stream sleeping. Enjoy your fucking nap then. Like, what do you want me to say? Enjoy your nap, bro. Enjoy your nap. Statue relief bust chest. Yeah, but what's that? Statue relief bust chest. How are those related at all? Statue relief bust chest. Physical art pieces. So what's the last one? Chest, torso, bust, statue. Am I missing chest? Oh, torso. Okay. Kinds of carving. All right. Brace, prop, post, support. Okay, that one makes sense. I probably should have got that. Pillars. All right. Rough showing. Gregg Popovich will no longer be the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. Wow. What a career. Obviously, he's had the health scares in the past year or so. Hell of a career from Gregg Popovich, who's moving on to being the full-time team president. 29 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs. 29. I mean, that's got to be like one of the longest tenured coaches in the history of sports, right? Connie Mack was a coach of the Athletics for 50 fucking years. The hell was he doing that long? Tom Landry, 29 years. Curly Lambeau, 29 years. Don Shula, 26. Bobby Cox, 25. Jerry Sloan, 23. 29 seasons. According to this list, that'd have Pop tied for 4th. The longest tenured coach in American sports history. Which is funny because you're looking at this list and it's all just oldies. It's all old guys. Not a lot of modern guys. Pop almost coached the Spurs slightly his whole life. Well, 29 is my whole life. He has coached the Spurs my whole life. I hope Luka leaves his club because of people like Dave McMahon, and Jason Pimpf. No LeBron pay cut either. He should cut his losses and opt out. Luka, why are you talking about yourself in third person in the chat? Man. Hell of a career, Pop. Hell of a career. Let's hope that the health stuff for Gregg Popovich is I guess let me start recording. I feel good about getting close to 30, honestly. I feel like my 30s are going to be incredible. I feel like my 30s are going to be great. Really, I do. My 20s were not. Honestly, guys, my 20s weren't much to write home about. You know? Good morning, folks. It's Friday, May 2nd. May is here. 10:56 a.m. Central Standard Time. We got a lot to talk about today. We're sort of starting this with breaking news. Shams Charania just reported this a few minutes ago that Gregg Popovich will no longer be the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs and is transitioning full-time to team president. Sources told ESPN. Sources did tell Slightly Biased Sports Media News Network earlier this morning. And just out of respect of Pop, just felt like I didn't want to break that news. Also, sometimes you just got to throw your competitors a bone. And I let Shams take this one just because once the summer gets here, it's going to be a lot of losses for Shams. And I don't want to, sometimes you got to string the competition along, right? You just got to throw them a bone every now and then. So congratulations to Gregg Popovich. We were just talking about this. According to one of the lists I read, I don't know how true it is, 29 years with the San Antonio Spurs. That has him tied as the fourth longest tenured coach in American sports history. Fourth longest tenured coach in American sports history, and especially in this era. That's insane, because we were looking at the list, and it was just a bunch of oldies from like the 50s and 40s. This is an incredible career for Pop. And obviously, he's had the health scares over the last year. So hopefully everything's okay with him health-wise. And, Popovich can enjoy the next stage of his professional career and his life. He's been doing this for so long. Paul with the $4.99. 30s is when stuff falls apart. I had so many pickup game-related injuries in my 30s, from hamstring to knee scopes. All right, don't put that on me. Knock on wood. Don't put that on me. But hell of a career by Gregg Popovich, and, what a guy. I'll always have respect for Pop. I always got a lot of shit from, growing up from Mavs fans, my fellow friends that were Mavs fans. Of course, me growing up being a massive Mavs fan. While there was a hatred there for the Spurs that I had, right, one of the better rivalries of the 21st century, those Mavs-Spurs rivalries. While I did have a hatred there, there was a sense of respect, There was a sense of respect that I had for the Spurs. They built such a good team. They played a beautiful brand of basketball. So much respect. Also, chat's on the screen, my bad. Also, those Spurs teams were so good, and he always had respect for not just the game, but for the players who played in the game. Always had great respect for Dirk. That's always one of the better memories, is the love that he had for Dirk, the love that he had for opposing players even, and the respect that he had for opposing players. Of course, Luka he's not going to score 50 points, and he ends up scoring 50 points. All of that stuff. What a great guy. And we wish him all the best as he moves on. Of course, taking the microphone to tell the Spurs crowd to stop booing Kawhi Leonard, that was a crazy moment as well. Dirk and Gregg Popovich sharing a moment after Dirk's final game. So many battles between these two. 20 years of battles between those two. Just mutual respect. This is going to make me tear up right here. God, I miss Dirk so much. Oh, look at that. Come back, Dirk. Dirk. Is there a way we can make Dirk come back and play? I miss him so much. I miss Dirk so much. Love Pop. Always gave respect to our German God. Gave a lot to San Antonio. God, Dirk's the GOAT, man. Dirk is the GOAT. Dirk is a real legend, unlike fraud-ass Pillsbury doughboy Luka. Now, that was my chat that said that, guys. I was just reading a chat. That's it. Dirk and Pop played so much, I bet Pop felt like he coached Dirk in a way. Yeah, for real. I wonder how many times that Pop coached against Dirk. Well into the hundreds, right? Play each other, 4 times a season? 20 years plus playoffs? Man. Hell of a career, Pop. Hell of a career. Arguably, maybe not arguably, the best to ever do it. And I'm interested to see what that transition looks like for him to team president. How hands-on is he going to be? How involved is he going to be? Because the reality is, if I'm a coach and I get hired to be the Spurs coach and Pop is still actively involved, that scares me a little bit. That scares me a little bit. No way they played each other 583 times. No fucking way. Dude, no chance. $78 times in the regular season, and then how many times in the playoffs? Off the top of my head, would have to be in the 20s, probably. When you get hired as a Spurs coach, I'm making the call now. I'm too busy, man. I got too much other stuff going on. Yeah, Taylor Jenkins. Well, that was one of my theories for the Grizzlies firing Taylor Jenkins there then, was that they kind of got word or heard that if that Spurs job was open, Taylor Jenkins was going to want it. And that was maybe part of the, hey, if your heart's already with if your heart's already in San Antonio, we'll just cut you loose right now. That could be. 78 times in the regular season, 33 in the playoffs. That's crazy. I mean, I'd have to assume that's the most he's coached against another player. I'm trying to think who else would even be in contention there. Trade LeBron, re-sign at much lower number, or retire. Okay, so we got to get into some stuff because I've heard this going around. I was listening to a Twitter space yesterday, which was breaking my brain in a million different pieces about LeBron and he needs to take a lower number and all of this shit. I literally could not believe half of what I was hearing. But we need to get going. We need to get talking because I got a lot to say and I got a lot to do and I got a lot of stuff on my plate and a lot of stuff on my mind. All right, let's pull up the confidence meter sheet. Here we are. Houston versus Golden State. We need to update this after Game 5. We are going to a Game 6. I think we go to a Game 7. I think Golden State wins, but something tells me we're going to a Game 7 in this series. Now, I'm not sure what that feeling is because Game 6 is tonight. Well, we'll be streaming that game in Golden State. Home game for the Warriors. That crowd's going to be crazy. Rockets got to go on the road and win a closeout game. But something tells me we're getting a Game 7 in this series. I still think the Warriors win. But my confidence has gone down a little bit. Knicks, Pistons. Knicks in 6 was my initial prediction, and we got it. Got that right perfectly. Let's table some talk here because I want to talk about Jalen Brunson in a little bit. Lakers, Minnesota, first L of the postseason. Pick the Lakers in 7. They lose in 5 games. Let's table this because we're going to talk in a little bit more detail about this. I've already talked about it on the Clips channel, but I want to go into a little bit more detail, and I want to talk about our guy. I want to talk about our guy, Luka, because it's one of the bigger talking points of this series, really. Indiana, Milwaukee, I picked Indy in 7. They won in 5. And Clippers, Denver. So we're going to a Game 7. Game 7, baby! We're going to a Game 7! I'm so hyped. This felt like immediately we were going to get a 7 game, so now my confidence wavered. I picked Clippers in 6 initially. Game 7 in Denver. Anything can happen in a game 7. I need you guys to be prepared for how insane this game's going to be. There's a lot, low-key a lot going on here. A lot of narratives. You've got the Jokic has never beat a 50-win team in the playoffs thing. And I've always thought that was stupid as fuck, especially considering the year that the Nuggets won the championship was a shortened season. So I think that's a stupid ass thing, right? And I always kind of hate poo-pooing 1 seeds for beating lesser competition. Like they were a 1 seed. That's what happens, right? They're a 1 seed. This is how it goes. But briefly talking about, no, it wasn't a shortened season. Was the year they won the finals not a little shortened? Oh my God, it wasn't, was it? That was the Bucks year, wasn't it? The year before? Damn, all right, never mind. Never mind, that's right. That's right. You watch boxing? No. I honestly couldn't even name you an active boxer. Is Floyd Mayweather still boxing? Chicken with the $1 donation. Thank you, Chicken. Really, really impressive game by the Clippers last night. Kind of the vision where they just have a bunch of really, really great role guys. Bunch of really great role guys making big contributions. I mean, Nicholas Batum was so good last night. Batum was incredible. Where are we at? Like, how old is Batum? Batum's career has honestly been crazy. Batum is 36. Fourth quarter yellow, why the fuck Batum in? Batum's had such an interesting career. 17 years in the league. Resembles nothing like the player that he was when he came into the league. Got paid a stupid amount of money by the Charlotte Hornets to be something that he's not. He's got to be your age, 36, nowhere near my age, by the way. Actually, nowhere even remotely close to it. There's actually a generation gap there between his age and my age, believe it or not. But Joel with the $2. Why is Zubac so effective against Jokic? Because Zubac is a massive human being. Will with the $5. Do you want Suggs on the Mavs? I mean, yeah, that would be cool. Probably a little bit too expensive if I had to guess. So, yes. Zubac is a massive human being. He's very strong. And he does move his feet. He moves his feet well for his size. He really does. So he can handle those post-ups. He can absorb the Jokic contact and, again, has great hands. I mean, he had a couple of blocks on Jokic last night, just swiping down. Perfect timing. Also an incredible rebounder. Great at boxing out, which is obviously one of Jokic's strongest traits, is his ability as an offensive rebounder. But that you got incredible contributions from Nicholas Batum, who turned back the clock in a lot of ways last night. I mean, look, this is just, as a role player, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Jesus Christ. 36 years old. Incredible. But one of the biggest stories of this series, I think, for the Clippers has been Bogey's very productive minutes for you. Now, you look at the stats last night, 6 points on 6 shots, not great. But his defensive intensity, I mean, this was a terrible year for Bogdanovich. Horrible year. He was terrible. So bad that it felt as though maybe his career was ending. Like that's where we were at. That's what we were talking about at the trade deadline. Where it was like, I don't even know what his career looks like moving forward. He's been so terrible. But Bogey's given the Clippers some really solid minutes this series, even in games where he's not scoring. He's getting after it a little bit defensively. This Clippers team, sometimes it feels like they're sort of, I wouldn't say going through the motions, but it feels like they're kind of playing a little bit slower than they need to in a playoff setting, and he brings it. I don't know. Guys, I don't know anything about the draft right now. Do you see the unblocked side shirt at the Lakers game? You're trolling. Was there really one? That'd be funny as hell if there was. No, Norm Powell had a good game last night. We'll see if Norm Powell, no idiot, gets smoked. Okay. I mean, I said there wasn't one, so I don't know why you're saying get smoked. I didn't believe that for a second. So I don't know why you're saying get smoked. At no point did I believe it. No, he didn't get anybody. I didn't even buy it for a second. Brenda Song wore it? Hell yeah. Huge. We should have Brenda on the show. But Harden, I mean, this was the thing with Harden. Late in series, Harden shrinks. He had a great game last night, and now we get a game 7. A lot's on the line here. There's a lot of very interesting things. This is, I don't want to say a legacy game for Harden. I hate that talk. It's round 1. Harden's had such a long career. He's won an MVP. His legacy will almost certainly, unless they win a championship or something, his legacy will almost certainly be his time with the Clippers or the Rockets. But come on, Harden. We can't have a game 7. We can't have a game 7 stinker. Can you give me 48 minutes? Can you give me 48 minutes, Harden? 48 minutes. Can we get a game 7 masterclass? Can we get a game 7 masterclass? I think Jamal Murray outplays Harden in game 7, and it's at Denver. Game 7, anything can happen. My guts, do they have a line for this game? If we had to guess the line, I would say Nuggets by 2.5 would be my guess. Denver by 1.5. Wow, Jesus, this is going to be incredible. I kind of think the Clippers win. Like, I do kind of feel like the Clippers win a game 7. But who knows? I mean, again, game 7, anything can happen. Jokic was, for Jokic standards, not good last night. 25 points, 4 turnovers. Did that Jokic thing for, there were stretches in the game where it was like the Nuggets were starting to sink a little bit. The Nuggets were starting to sink, and it was like, Jokic, can you like try to score? Can you like shoot the ball? I hate when he has those stretches. There weren't any cool names with the 99 cents. Thank you very much. Westbrook has been great. Denver wins. There were some interesting Westbrook minutes last night. I mean, everybody hyperfixates on the bad shit Russ does, and he had a couple of smoked layups. And it does feel like it's just like Russ's finishing is so terrible. And it does lead to problems because he drives, he misses a layup, and he just attacks the rim so hard that he's flying into the stanchion. He's flying into the crowd. And so it's an immediate, basically like a turnover. You get a 5-on-4 going the other way because Russ is trailing the play so much. Typically what we see in game 7s, role players shoot much better at home. You know, think back to some of the iconic recent game 7s. We haven't had a lot of game 7s recently. You know, haven't had a lot of them. It's usually decided, I feel like, by, well, not usually, but a lot of times it's decided by one random role guy popping the fuck off, hitting like 5 threes. Remember Grant Williams game 7 against the Bucks? Remember that? Mavs versus Suns game 7 was a Luka game. Yeah, but you want to know what else happened in that game that always gets lost? Spencer Dinwiddie had 30 points. And yeah, that game was the Luka game, absolutely. No doubt about it. But Spence had 30. Best game 7 of all time. I mean, there's been some good ones. The 08 finals, Lakers Celtics. Or is that the 09 finals? But I mean, for me, in my years watching, it's 2016. Oh, 2010 finals. 2010 finals. That's right. 2016 game 7 of the finals. I mean, what the fuck more could you even ask out of a game 7 than that? Like, literally, what more could you even ask out of a game 7? Kawhi, yeah, the Kawhi game 7 buzzer beater. Mavs Spurs 2006 round 2. Well, 2013 finals game 6 was the incredible game. Nets Bucks 2021. Yeah, that one was iconic. I mean, I've been saying this. We've been due as basketball fans. We have been due like an insane postseason. Low key, we've been due a crazy finals because they haven't been that great. They have not been that great. These finals over the last 10 years or so. Don't get me wrong. We've had good series. You know, I'll always defend that Bucks Suns series because I thought that was really fun. That was a really good series, really fun, back and forth. The Celtics Warriors was a good one. But it's been a while since we've had just like, dude, you need to drop everything, cancel all your plans, and watch this fucking game tonight. So long. Nuggets Heat was insane. Unfortunately, last year's finals sucked. Like from just an outsider's perspective, if you were just to look at it from an outsider's perspective, last year's finals were one of the most unforgettable, unmemorable finals in a while. Unfortunately, and that's just the truth. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling good about my Clips after Game 6. Clippers in 7. I'm going 62%. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know what it is. I've been liking Bogey's minutes. Maybe he hits a few threes. Norm Powell's been trending upwards over the last few games. I thought Norm Powell early in the series was horrible and was honestly kind of hurting them because if he's not hitting shots and being aggressive offensively, then he's not doing much for you. He can lock in and be a fine defender, but he's not a great defender, not a good rebounder. Bet your house on Game 7 Harden. Can we get a Kawhi masterclass? Let me see. We'll see tomorrow night. We'll see tomorrow night. Kawhi, first possession of the game for the Clippers, elbow jumper, straight 98-mile-an-hour line drive at the rim. Over a great contest by Aaron Gordon. If that goes in, oh yeah, we'll be live. Don't worry. If that goes in, this will be me. Oh. Oh. I'll be live tonight as well. Yes. Let's get some. Let's do round 2 predictions. We know our series out east. We're still waiting out west, but Indy versus Cleveland. So in my like bracket, I have Indy winning this series. I just don't see it actually. I don't see it. I don't. I know I have to stay consistent, but the Cavs are just a better team. I know. And Cleveland just utterly assassinated basically the Miami Heat. Indy in 8, Cavs in 5. The Cavs are just so much better. You know. And Indy looked good in their series. Don't get me wrong. And Indy's been really good lately. Yeah, Indy's good. Like I don't. Nothing against the Pacers here, but I think they're running into a different team. Like the Bucks. The Bucks are a nightmare. I never at any point thought I picked Indy to beat the Bucks. Even if Dame were healthy, I would have picked Indy to beat the Bucks. The Indy's just a horrible matchup for Milwaukee. Cleveland doesn't have a Brook Lopez who's moving with cement shoes on. You know, I just feel like defensively it's a different team that Indy's going up against. Cavs round one performance means nothing. They face a 10 seed. No, I mean, I agree with you, but Cleveland's been incredible all year. Indy could have been competitive with Boston last year, but they pooped their pants. I mean, that was a sweep, but a few of those games were really close. Bigs in Cleveland take them over the top. Absolutely. The bigs are going to be a problem. Mobley's going to have an incredible series. I think this is going to be a statement series for Mobley. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Have they done Defensive Player of the Year yet? They have, haven't they? I can't keep up. They have. They have absolutely done Defensive Player of the Year. So he won Defensive Player of the Year, but I think this is going to be a legacy series for him. Legacy is a hard word, but a coming out party, really, where the national audience was like, oh, shit. Eastern Conference Finals should have gone 6, but Indy choked game 1 and game 3. I'll go Cleveland. 5 is disrespectful, but it's low key what I'm thinking. But I want to show respect to Indy because I do think they're a great, great team. I'm going to go Cleveland in 6, even though I am feeling 5. I'm going Cleveland in 6. Confidence meter, 85. God bless you. God bless Indy. And let's go New York Knicks versus Boston Celtics. What a fun matchup this is, historically speaking, at least. Now, I have my concerns for the Knicks, obviously. I think this is... I'm worried about Boston because I felt very confident that Boston would go to be in the finals and it's going to be Thunder Boston. I'm just a little bit worried about them with all of the different injuries that they've been dealing with. Would I be that surprised? And here's what the Knicks have to do. And I'm not talking X's and O's. I'm not talking any of that. I'm just talking from a series perspective, from a confidence perspective. You probably have to steal game 1. You probably have to steal game 1. The Celtics are coming off of a series where they played just a nightmarish defense, a hellish defense in Orlando. That made life for Boston pretty difficult. Ask any Boston Celtics fan. That series was a 5-game series, but the Celtics are happy to be out of that one. I'll tell you that much. Celtics rested players and still beat the Magic. Oh, I mean, the Celtics are always going to beat the Magic. The Magic don't have the offense to keep up with the Celtics. We knew that already. It's a lot to ask of Brunson. The Knicks obviously pose a completely and totally different threat offensively than the Magic do. But they do not pose the same threat defensively. Shams bomb. San Antonio Spurs are hiring assistant Mitch Johnson as the franchise's next head coach. Okay, so they took the interim tag off. Okay, well, there you go. No Taylor Jenkins. They're just going Mitch Johnson. Congratulations to him. I think I saw that the Celtics were minus 900 to win the series, which is fucking insane. I mean, that's a 1 versus 8 seed type of line. That's crazy. I think the Knicks have a better chance than that. Tatum's got that wrist injury. Brown's getting knee injections. They basically had to rest Drew Holiday. Like they're not the juggernaut they were last year. But I am going to go with Boston. I'll go in 5. I think the Knicks get 1 game. And I do feel pretty good about it. I mean, they're just better. Right. And we know the story for the Knicks this year and playing. And honestly, I don't really care about regular season stuff. The stuff is pretty damning for the Knicks, not beating any of the top end opponents throughout the course of the season. This is the Celtics' last chance for this current team. I do find it interesting that you're seeing leaks and stuff come out that are like, yeah, man, they're trading people in the offseason. The Suns beat the Wolves every game, then got swept last year. Yeah, regular season doesn't tell you that much. Just on the chat, Giannis is San Antonio soon. Could see it. Absolutely could see it. This feels slightly different, though. Knicks were flat out gunning for some of those wins and flat out lost. I will give the Knicks this because I think one of the big concerns for them is their three-point defense, which has often been talked about. I think the three-point defense is not as bad as people make it out to be at times. And I think they did a really good job on like Malik Beasley in that Pistons series. Now, the difference is you're playing a Celtics team where they can put 5 shooters on the court and space the floor. And for the Knicks at any given moment, you're probably going to have 2. And we know what the Celtics like to do. They're going to find your weak defenders and they're going to hunt them and go after them over and 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 over. And we know that the Knicks are going to have Brunson and Cat out there for a majority of the time. And that's going to be the problem. And over. Right, I missed one over. That's going to scare me a little bit. But I also see a world where Mitchell Robinson has a very big impact in this series on the glass over a guy like KP. I think this would be closer than maybe the odds, but I think it's going to be a 5-game series. But I think it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be like a 20-point blowout every game. I've seen some people say that. I just don't understand why the Knicks went all in on this core. I mean, it is a good team. Like, it's a good team. Look, the reality is sometimes you just need some luck. And unfortunately for the Knicks, I don't think this year is the year. Going up against the Celtics in round 2, nobody really saw the Cavs turning into the juggernaut they are. They're not the definition of mid. All right, so these are my predictions right now. It's kind of interesting. Like, round 2 is going to be really interesting because I don't know how many of those series will be that competitive. Timberwolves versus whoever they play will be a fun series. You know, Thunder versus Clippers could be fun. Even Thunder versus Nuggets could be fun. Don't get me wrong, but I think we're just kind of waiting for the conference finals at this point. Do you have Warriors advancing to the next round? I think I'm going to have a hard time picking anyone other than the Timberwolves at this point. You want Golden State versus OKC now? I mean, that'll be fun. All right. Let's get into it. Tell your Grams and Pop. Tell your Grams and Pop. We're about to do the Lucas stuff. Lakers lose in round 1. So we know that. All of the talk in the recent days has been have been about Luka, and I don't think it's fair whatsoever. Blaming Luka, I don't think that's fair. But there are some things that we should talk about. And Luka's my guy. I've watched every game of his career. That's not true. There were some Lakers games that I missed after the trade. But I've watched 99% of the professional NBA games that Luka Doncic has played in his career. I have thoughts and feelings. I want him to succeed at the highest level. I want him to achieve everything that he's capable of achieving, which I do think is that of a top 15 player in the history of the game. Now, the problem with that is if he wants to be that top 15, top 10 player of all time, it's about time, right? It's time to get going. Next year is probably like, all right, here we go. It's time. This wasn't a slight that Reddick said. He got to come back next season when we meet on the bone. I hear people blaming JJ more than Luka. So, yeah, I mean, Tim McMahon said the Lakers already built a statue of Luka. It was just on the court on defense. Did he actually say that? That's pretty fucking funny. That's a pretty funny thing to say. That's funny. On the Hoop Collective, Wendy was not happy. Okay, so this comment came out afterwards. JJ Redick, we have to get in championship shape. Redick notes some players were in phenomenal shape and others could have been in better shape, but collectively they need to be in better shape. Obviously, I think he's talking about multiple guys here. I mean, the team was gassed by the end of the series. Doesn't help that they played entire second halves of games, which I thought was not smart at all on JJ's end. But I do think part of this is on Luka. JJ scapegoating Luka is kind of sad. I don't view this as a scapegoating thing. So I'll say this right now. And look, for the next 10, 20 minutes or so, I'm going to be talking about Luka Doncic. I'm not going to be speaking towards Luka stans or Luka defenders. But this really quickly, briefly for Luka stans, Luka defenders. It's time to thicker skin, right? It's time to grow a little bit thicker skin, especially if you're following Luka. You're going to continue to follow Luka. It's going to be bad in LA. Yes, he's going to be the center of attention. When the Lakers do not win, he's going to get a lot of shit. This is how it works. It's going to be amplified. It's been bad at times with Dallas. You saw the narratives last year after the finals, the year that the Mavs missed the playoffs. It was very loud for Luka Doncic. It's going to be louder. It's going to be 10 times louder. He's playing for the Lakers now, okay? So for those of you who couldn't wait for Luka to get off the Mavs fan base is there, oh, he gets blamed for everything. It's going to be 10 times worse. The fact that you didn't think it would be, you're out of your fucking mind. And now you're going to learn the hard way, unfortunately, that this is how it goes. Okay? So it's you got to develop a little bit thicker skin. You have to. It can't be a slight. Everything can't be a slight. No, JJ's not throwing Luka under the bus. He's not throwing anybody under the bus here. JJ, I think the first thing JJ said was that he has to be better as a coach. And this is not wrong here. Okay, what he's saying here is not incorrect. What he's saying here is not wrong. He's being 100% right. I did find it funny. Draw out the two. You think they beat the Wolves with Mark Williams? I think it's probably a different series, but honestly, no. Well, I mean, I guess you never know. It would be a completely different series. Who else was JJ talking about when he mentions needing to get in shape? Championship shape. I mean, he could be talking about Reeves. Reeves had a dog shit series. Fatty LeBron. I mean, look, Luka's one of the people he's talking about. There's no doubting that. My Reeves tape paid off. It did pay off. It did. So, yes, the Lakers lost this series. Anybody out there who's, look, here's the reality. Anyone out there who's saying they lost the series because of Luka, Luka's the biggest reason why they lost the series, X, Y, and Z, that's not worth your time. Debating with these people, getting upset about these people, getting upset about what they say, it's not worth your time. Okay, it just isn't. The Lakers lost the series because they weren't good enough. Straight up. They weren't good enough. They weren't talented enough as a team. They didn't have enough pieces. They weren't big enough. They didn't have the athletes, right? That was it. They weren't deep enough. That's why they lost the series. Jackson Hayes stunk like shit. They had to go small the entire game, basically. That's why the series was a loss for the Lakers. Okay? But there was other stuff that led to that loss. Fourth quarter performances from their stars. Luka, LeBron, dreadful in the fourth quarter of this series. Dreadfully bad. Perimeter defense as a whole, the whole team, horrible. When you mix that with no rim protection whatsoever because Rui Hachimura is playing center, you're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. And their fourth quarter defense was dreadful because of that reason right there. Rebounding was awful. Rudy Gobert is just way bigger. Julius Randle, good rebounder, bigger, physical. That was always going to be a problem for you in this series. Now, were some of your rebounding problems more than that? Were some of your rebounding problems effort, not putting a body on guys, not boxing out, hoping the ball bounces your way? Yes, absolutely. But it was mainly because you're just small. You were smaller. But one of the problems in this series, I do think was... I do think one of the problems in the series was Luka. I mean, just straight up, and I'll explain why I think that way and what Luka needs to improve on. Okay? Look, at some point, it has to happen for Luka. At some point, it has to happen for him. Because what we saw in this series from him, and look, he was hurt. He was sick in game 4. Then he hurt his back. Sick in game 3. Then he hurt his back. He's coming off a cap. Look, I get it. I get all of that. Okay. But here's just the reality. The Luka Doncic that we saw in this series was not good enough from your star player, your best player, one of your two best players, to win 4 straight series, to win 3 straight series. That's just the reality. Okay. You can throw the stats at me. You can throw the numbers. Look, Luka's always going to be a big number guy. Luka's always going to be a big number guy. Right? And I know Luka, 30 points per game in this series, 45%, 34% from 3, 89 from the free throw line. I mean, those are efficient numbers, right? Thoughts on people named Carson? I just always think of Carson Wentz. So, still adjusting to his new team. Yeah, they're still, obviously, like the Lakers were never winning a championship this year. Absolutely not. Is losing in the first round disappointing? Losing in the first round of 5 games and leaving the series thinking, oh man, we weren't really even that close. We got a lot of things that we need to improve on. Is that disappointing? Yes, it is. The Lakers losing in the playoff this postseason is not surprising whatsoever. If you thought the Lakers could go on a finals run, you needed a reality check in a lot of ways. And I tried to give you some. I tried to give you some reality checks, but you guys yelled at me every time I tried to. Luka blow-bys with rim protection are non-issue. I wouldn't say non-issue. So I get the Luka counting stats are good. Luka's always going to have good counting stats. Okay? He just is. So it's the nature of his game, the talent level that he has, the scoring ability that he has. It's a big reason why the expectations for Luka are so high. If Luka had, I don't know, James Harden expectations, if Luka had, trying to think of some other, some other guys, some lesser star level players expectations, then yeah, we're leaving this series going, man, well, hey, Luka had a great one. You got everything you could from Luka. I did not think Luka played a very good series. I just didn't. Using my eyeballs, going off of how good I know Luka can be, I don't think he had a good series, and it's okay to say that, and it should be said. It should be said that it has to be better. Luka was horrible defensively. Horrible in 4 of the 5 games. Just straight up terrible. I thought game 2, he stood on his head a little bit, and he was fine defensively. Every other game, and I know he was sick, and then he hurt his back. Okay, fine. But every other game, I thought he was really bad. And I've seen people toss these fucking defensive field goal stats around to say that actually he was pretty elite defensively. What's the point? I have to ask this. And I just said I wasn't going to be talking towards Luka stands, but I have to do it right now. I saw this on Twitter. People are going back and forth using defensive field goal metrics to show actually Luka was an elite defensive player in this series. His ISO stats were the best in the play. He's been elite defensively. What's the point in even doing that? I really don't get it. Like, what's the point of even lying about it? I don't understand. You watch the games. You think he was good enough defensively? Do you actually think that? In your heart of hearts, do you believe that? If so, there's no point of even really arguing with people like this because there's nothing you can tell them. You can lie with statistics. Dude, defensive field goal percentage is a horrid stat. Nobody should be using it. I don't see many people using it as a stat. The only time I think that stat matters is like prolonged, season-long rim defensive field goal percentage. That tells you a good amount about shot blockers and bigs who are rim deterrences. Otherwise, this stat is so misleading. Defensive field goal percentage, so misleading. Dort gets credit with that stat, though. I never liked defensive field goal percentage pretty much ever. I just think it's a stat that's deeply flawed. Let me just pull up defensive field goal, like what I'm talking about here. So much that should matter. Your eyeballs matter for defense. That's just the truth. Oh my God. Look at this. They're literally hiding the footage from us. NBA does not want us to watch Luka's defensive field goals. Is that how it is for everyone? Austin Reeves? Oh my God, the NBA is actually hiding this information. You are using blow-by percentage and talking about defensive field goal percentage? When the fuck have I ever used blow-by? I spent so much time last year talking about how stupid the blow-by percentage stat was. I've never used blow-by percentage as a stat. Ever. I've never used that stat. I don't like that stat. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So Luka, this is it. So for some reason we can see the 3. So this is why I'm saying this stat is stupid. This counts as a defensive field goal stop for Luka. This play right here gets thrown to the ground by Gobert. Slow getting up. McDaniels gets a wide open 3. Now in the stats, this stupid fucking stat. I don't even think I've used blow by ironically. I don't even know where to get that stat. So that's why these stats are shaky to say the least. It just goes to whoever the closest defender is. Okay. I did not think Luka was good at all in this series defensively. And I don't care about blow-by stats. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. I'm using my eyeballs. Luka was getting hunted every single play, which is what's going to happen. He's never going to be an elite defensive player. And ideally, when a team gets built around him, he'll be the weakest defender on the floor. And that's not a slight to him, but that's like, if you're building a team around Luka, that's what you want it to be. So teams will hunt him. Teams will go after him. Teams will go after him because he's the lead ball handler, and you want to go after that guy. You want to tire him out. We see this time and time again. But he was getting beat so easily by Julius Randle, by Jaden McDaniels, by Ant. And he had a couple of plays where he stood he sat in a chair and played good defense. Like, don't get me wrong. And defensive field goal for me, like contesting threes and step back threes when guys settle. I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, that's fine and all. That's cool. The real problems are when Luka gets beat off the dribble in one dribble, and now your defense is collapsing and the ball's moving, and now guys are shooting wide open threes. I mean, look, this game, make no mistake about it, this game should have been a 20-point win for the Timberwolves. They shot 14% from three, 7 of 47. They missed 43s. We mentioned this. That was the most threes ever missed by a team in a playoff game ever. And they still won. And it was frustrating watching the game because, like from a Timberwolves perspective, because you almost want to say, guys, just stop shooting threes. But holy shit, they were generating so many wide the fuck open threes. Sheldon with a $9.99. Why do Lakers fans expect him to do something he didn't do for the Mavs or himself? He can't guard athletic players. OKC, Houston, Spurs, Minnesota will search him out. He needs a wall of 3-and-D players plus lob threats. So I think, for me, right, going off of your point right there, Sheldon, for me, I've never cared when Luka gets beat off the dribble by somebody. Luka got beat off the dribble by Anthony Edwards. Okay. Guess what? Anthony Edwards beats a lot of guys off the dribble. That's not really the problem. And the Mavs defensively last year, yeah, they had rim protection. And so part of their scheme was, hey, it's okay to funnel these guys into our rim protection. And we'll rotate off of that. Now, the Celtics, once it got to the Celtics and everybody on the floor could shoot, that's when a problem started. But I still think the Mavs did fine defensively there. The Lakers don't have that. And when you don't have that backing Luka, that's when it really, really shows. I mean, go back and watch these games, guys. Like, Luka's getting beat off the dribble by Ant, by all of these guys, by Jaden McDaniels, by Julius Randle's. Like, Ant beats a lot of guys off the dribble, so just throw him out the equation. But Julius Randle, Jaden McDaniels, I mean, beating him so easily. The defense collapses, ball's moving, it's an open three, or we're ripping going on a defender who's having a wild closeout because he's having to rotate from under the rim to the 3-point line, like all of these different things. And that's where I think my frustrations with Luka defensively really shine, is once you get beat, you have to rotate. If you're going to funnel guys into your rim protection, you then have to rotate. And there are times where Luka just doesn't do that. His rotations can be slow, or he doesn't rotate whatsoever. And I know his rebounding numbers are good. I honestly, it's been a while since I felt like Luka's a really good rebounder. There were stretches where I thought, man, Luka's such a great rebounder for a guard, obviously with his size and stuff like that. But I don't think Luka's been a great rebounder for a while. I think he's lazy. I think he's lazy on the glass. And the Lakers were always going to get dominated on the glass in this series. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not blaming Luka for that. But he's been lazy defensively. He's still good for a guard. Absolutely, but it's not like Luka's guarding guards, right? Luka's often, he'll get switched on to guards, but they're putting Luka on like power forwards, small forwards. Those guys crash the glass, and you gotta make an effort to box guys out. You gotta make an effort to prevent those guys from crashing. And I feel like for a few years now, that's been a big weak spot for him. Right? It's been a big problem for him. So yes, I do think this is an important summer for Luka. Yes, he physically, he needs to get to a point where he can play, do his thing offensively, be passable defensively, which we've seen him be at times, be passable defensively, I thought, which is exactly what he was last year in the playoffs. Even though, yes, the Mavericks built the team perfect for him, right? So Luka gets beat, that's fine. We've got people to help. You just got to get out to the 3-point line. You get beat off the dribble, just rotate. We'll do all the rest. It's time to, if this is Luka's peak, where would you put him? Top 50 ever? I'm bad with all-time rankings. I'm not sure. The Celtics embarrassed him, man, not giving him credit defensively for that run. Yeah, and I think it's in... So, I was easy with my criticism of Luka last year in the finals. Because, one, they made the finals. Two, he was clearly... I mean, anyone who watched Luka at all last year knew he was clearly compromised. He was so obviously 60% at best. It was so obvious that he was hurt last year in the playoffs. Just go back and watch him early in the season last year. It was so clear that he was dealing with significant injuries. Right? So I was easy with my criticism of him because he just made the finals. The whole team shit the bed against the Celtics, realistically. And I didn't think, he was already getting so much shit by the national media. Like, I'm not all that interested. But yeah, Luka was awful defensively against the Celtics. He was terrible. He was terrible. But again, everyone was bad. Like, everyone was bad in that series. Why is he never 100% healthy? This is the thing, Camellia. This is it. This is the problem. This is far and away the number one thing with Luka right now. How can we get to a point with Luka where, from a physical perspective, from a conditioning, because conditioning absolutely plays a part in this, but conditioning from a physical perspective, how can we get to a point where we're not constantly dealing with these injuries? Because, look, this was the first time this year that Luka has missed significant time with an injury, right? 50 games, had missed a month and a half with that calf injury. It's the longest amount of time that he's missed for an injury. So he hasn't had, and knock on wood, he hasn't had these catastrophic injuries. But how many years in a row are we now of there just being constant shit with Luka? Like, how many years in a row are we at now? Because the year that the Mavs missed the play-in tournament, 22-23, he had that lingering, what was it? A thigh injury? A lingering thigh injury that was there all year long. All year long, it was a thigh injury. To be fair, that's every player apart from like 5 to 10 players that play 75-plus games. No, I know, but let's just look at the postseasons. The last 3. And it's going to be crazy to say stuff like this because it's been 2 conference finals runs and a finals run of his last 3 playoff trips. That's a testament to how good he is and why I even care about this shit, because I think he can be better. Because what I'm about to say, he did all of that compromised every time. Every single time. 21-22. Mavs make the conference finals. Luka has a tremendous season. Finishes the season with a calf strain. Now, I think that was the first time. He suffered a calf strain there. And it's pretty much, dude, he played every game in the playoffs. You just can't stop, can you? You can't handle him being good. What? What does that even mean? Charlie with the $4.99. If Luka had better body language, showed more effort on defense, there would not be a conversation. Jokic and Steph are just as bad, if not worse. You can't handle him being good. I don't understand what that chat is saying. So anyways, 21-22, calf injury entering the playoffs, missed the first 3 games, I want to say. And that was when Brunson, and we're going to still talk about Brunson later in the stream. That was when Brunson had his breakout. Luka came back and did look good, right? Did look good. I think the first game back was a little bit rough, but did look good. Made the conference finals. The series against the Suns, legendary. Legendary shit. Warrior series. And I don't want this to get swept under the rug in this overarching conversation because it's important. Because Luka's entering the prime of his career now, and now it's time to get going. If it feels as though I don't like Luka, look, if I didn't like Luka, I wouldn't even be doing this shit. I'd be making fun of him and we'd be moving on. I'm having this conversation because I do think Luka can be better than this. I do expect Luka to be better than this. And now it's time to get there. Now it is time to reach that point. If Luka's an all-time great if you were to retire today. Fuck all-time great. We're talking top 10. We're talking top 15 all time. That's a different stratosphere. And I think Luka can reach it. I'm not like insecure about it. I'm not like, you can't say anything bad about my binky. I'm not doing anything like that. I think Luka can actually reach that. So now it's time to talk about how to reach that, because that's a different stratosphere. That's a different stratosphere. That's not hand-holding. Let's all sing Kumbaya. No, it's all right you lost in round one. No, it's all right you got hunted every single time and you lost the series and you were picked apart defensively. Like, it's all good. You know, so you averaged 34 points. Like, it's all good. That shit's gone. He's going to be 27 entering next year's playoffs. Sheldon with the 499. Has the NBA figured out Luka, take away the lob threat, stay home on shooters, and make him a scorer? Just tire him out on offense and defense? I'll talk about that here in a bit. Stop shortening his window. He just made the finals. He has the next 3 to 5 years to enter his prime. He does not have 5 years to enter his prime. What does that even mean? He does not have 5 years to enter his prime. He's not entering his prime, in considering the mileage and the injuries he's already suffering, he's not entering his prime at 31 years old. Luka's not 22 anymore. He's going to be 27 at the start of next postseason. That's still very young, though. The amount of all-time greats who have won before they are 28 is disgustingly small. I know. I'm saying he's now entering his prime, so this is what is required now. Okay? Where was I at? Okay. They make the conference finals, calf injury, and I don't want this to get swept over the rug in this overarching conversation, because I want this to be, here's how Luka can get better, here's what he has to do to get better. That Golden State Warriors conference finals, the Mavericks were not competitive whatsoever in that series. Their roster was not good enough. Okay? Let's just start there. That's why they lost the series. The Warriors were just way better than the Mavericks. Okay? But a problem in that series was Luka was terrible defensively. And the Warriors, and this is why I would have picked the Warriors to beat the Lakers if they played in the first round. That type of offense is bad. That type of offense is going to give Luka some problems. Okay? Now, Brunson was done by that point. The Mavs were completely and totally fucking gassed. They ran Reggie Bullock and Dorian Finney-Smith into the dirt during that Suns series. That's why they lost the series. I'm not saying at all they lost it because of Luka's defense. But that was a problem in the series. Right? Hey, man, Reggie Bullock was great during that conference finals run. All right. That was the last time Wiggins was good. True. And Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole saved it all. Again, used it all against the Mavs. Then you had the following season, Mavs missed the play-in tournament. Again, a deeply flawed roster. They trade for Kyrie Irving mid-season. It takes a while for them to gel. It just never works out. Christian Wood and JaVale McGee were your starting centers. I mean, just a fucking horrible roster. This is part of the reason why, like, Nico's approval rating was so high. It was because he turned that roster into a team that made the finals. But deeply flawed roster. Great season from Luka. Was dealing with a lingering thigh injury all year long. And there were games where it was very noticeable. A lingering thigh problem. Do you guys remember that? I forgot about that until someone brought it up. A lingering thigh problem that bothered him the entirety of the season. All right, then we enter the final series, the next season where the Mavs make the finals. Again, I thought Luka should have won MVP in this season. He finished third. I thought he should have won it. Led the league in scoring. Was fantastic. Sometime in March, we don't know the exact date. We can't pinpoint it. Sometime in March, knee injury that had him incredibly compromised for the remainder of the season. Knee injury that had him compromised for the remainder of the season. And this is a testament to how unbelievably good that Mavs roster was last year. And it was a great roster. They made a finals run on what was statistically, efficiency-wise, Luka's worst postseason. Although I would say that I think this series was worse. But Luka's worst postseason, he was clearly compromised. But the Mavs roster was fucking awesome. I mean, it was great. What a great team that was. Knee problems the entire postseason. Yeah. And then you get into this year, enters the season with a calf problem. You guys remember it took him 10 games. The first 10 games of the season for Luka was like the worst 10-game stretch of his career outside his rookie year. We talked about it on this channel. then the wrist injury. Was it a wrist sprain, or did his team think he needed some time to get his conditioning right? That's up for debate. That's one of the things we talk about with the trade. I don't know. Then comes back, looks good, looks really good for like a 10-game stretch. Boom, hurts his calf. The rest is history. Basically, what I'm saying is this is a concerning trend. He's 25. He entered the season 25 years old, turned 26. He's too young to be consistently dealing with these injuries. It doesn't feel like it'll get better as he gets older. And knock on wood, we haven't had the catastrophic injury or anything like that. But we need to get to a point where these lingering injuries aren't such a problem. Mike with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. And if it's not this offseason, I really don't know when the fuck it's going to be. He has to enter next season in better shape. He has to. Has to. Because the way that he's been entering seasons, and use your eyeballs, guys. Go back and watch the first 10 Mavs games and tell me if you thought that was a player who was in anywhere near playing shape. Tell me. With a straight face. It has to be now. More than fair to bring him injuries is his biggest concern. That's the biggest concern with me, is injuries. And I do wonder how many of these injuries were because you're not coming into the season ready to go. You're not coming into the season. And look, Luka's in the gym. His teammates tell me Luka's in the gym. That's great. Yes, these guys are fucking professional NBA players. They're in the gym. Nobody is saying that Luka doesn't even work out. Luka doesn't do anything. Luka is X, Y, and Z. Of course he does. He's in the fucking NBA. Like, obviously he is. Like, obviously he is. But I use my eyeballs, and I don't know. There's definitely times where I watch him, I'm like, man, Luka looks jogging up and down the court. He looks gassed constantly. He looks a little heavier. My eyeballs are telling me this. He has to get better at it. He has to get more serious. Has to. That's just the reality. And if it doesn't get there, hey, if it just never clicks for him in that way, hey, he'll finish his career as a great all-time player, one of the best scorers we've ever seen, one of the best playmakers we've ever seen, maybe even an MVP or two, and maybe he wins a ring. But it won't be the heights that he can reach. I'll tell you that much. It will not be the heights that he's capable of reaching. And beyond the defense stuff, this has been a long-time trend in Luka's career, and it was on full display in this series. He was awful in the fourth quarter of games. Awful. Why does he slightly? Luka has the Lakers held hostage. They have no future, and he has all the leverage. He knows someone will sign him to a supermax. Why does he what? Why does he have to get better? I'm saying if Luka wants to be an legitimate all-time great, top 10, top 15 player ever, that's what he has to do. I don't give it doesn't. He can go do it on a different team. I don't know about that, but he also wasn't given a lot of rest on the bench, though. The Lakers had no one that could give him a break. I agree with you there, but at the same time, you're 26 years old. Like, I'm talking about top 10, top 15 level players. Go back and look at what some of those guys were doing. You shouldn't be playing like heavy minutes in a playoff setting in round one shouldn't be this like, I'm so gassed now in the fourth quarter, I can't contribute. And I get he played a lot of minutes. But that's a problem for me. If you're 26 years old and it's like the fourth quarter comes around, it's like, hey, I'm done. I'm gassed. You've got all you can get out of me. Fourth quarter of games this series for Luka. God, the NBA stat website is so horrible. 4 points per game in the fourth, 30% from the field, 14% from deep. I believe had more turnovers than assists. Three assists, 3 turnovers, minus 36 with, I believe I looked it up, a 128 defensive rating when he was on the floor. Ant was gassed last year at 22. Yeah, and it was a thing that he had to fix. One, Luka's expectations are much higher than Ant's. Let's start there. Two, that was a thing that everyone watching agreed. That has to improve for Anthony Edwards. That can't happen. And Anthony Edwards in the fourth quarter of this series was fantastic. 10 assists and 1 turnover in the fourth quarter of games for Anthony Edwards. That's so impressive for him. Much higher as a stretch. I mean, if you don't think the expectations for Luka at 25 years old are higher than a 22-year-old Anthony Edwards, I don't know what to tell you. They are much higher. Luka made plays in the playoffs last year with a ton of injuries. Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, he did. I'm talking about this. This series was bad in the fourth quarter, and it's been a reoccurring theme of Luka's career. The efficiency and the numbers for Luka tailing off late in games. So we just have to get to a point. And I know Luka plays a ton of minutes. I get all of this. So after all this talk, what you're saying is not only is this summer very important, it might be Luka's most important summer of his career. I think that's fair. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, right? Because there's absolutely time for Luka to fix this. And do I think he'll do it though? I've seen Lakers fans say this is the summer for him. I'm gonna be real. I'm not that confident. I have to be brutally honest with you. I'm not that confident because this has been like a 4 straight summer thing for me. I remember when Slovenia had a brutal loss to France in the Olympics. When was that? 2021? I thought this is going to be like a moment for Luka. This will be a moment for Luka. This will be a moment. Didn't happen. Kind of got embarrassed by the Warriors. That might have been the same year as... No, it wasn't. If he didn't do it after all the final slander, nothing will motivate him. Hey, Sally, sorry for the misinformation last week with the Jason Kidd hugging kid comment. Oh, I forgot about that. It's all good, bro. Well, that's what the 499. If a finals loss and quick first round exit doesn't change him, this will be a slow burn. Would it hurt more or less if he was still on the Mavs? I mean, it would definitely hurt more or less. I mean, I'd still much rather him be on the Mavs than not. Don't get me wrong. It would hurt a little bit more on the Mavs because now it's just like, well, I hope Luka does it. So I'm just saying this, right? I get if some of this stuff upsets you as a Luka fan, a Luka defender, that's fine. That's your guy. I get it. That's your guy. You know, I want him to be the best he can possibly be. And if I'm just using my eyeballs and being honest with myself, just being really honest with myself, Defensively, I did not think what he did in the series was anywhere near acceptable if you want to win 4 straight series. Okay? And the way that he played in the fourth quarter is not good enough to win 4 straight series. How can we fix it? Yes, the team has to be better. That goes up being said. I led with that. The team was nowhere near good enough. But Luka was also nowhere near good enough. 2 things can be true. Here's the thing. Luka's ever been on a roster when he could have been as bad as SGA was for 3 games against Memphis? And still win by a lot? Well, you want to know something? And here's also part of the problem, and something I would love to see for Luka, and I was hoping we would see this year for the Mavs. That was, if you guys remember, that was my biggest wish for the Mavs entering the season, was we had a fun regular season and won a lot of games. Is the reason why you've never seen a series like that is because the Mavs, Lakers, whoever on Luka's team, has never played an easy game, an easy opponent in the playoffs, or what can be considered an easy opponent in the playoffs, because they never win enough games. Because for whatever reason it is, and some of it's roster construction, but I think also some of it is at some point you just got to look at it and be like, okay, why aren't you winning a ton of regular season games? Why is it that it's been like 4 or 5 straight years of we're like teetering around 500 at the trade deadline and have to just fucking go crazy over the last 3 months to make the playoffs? They were never going to have an easy postseason. Thunder 2 straight years, easy first round. Well, they were the 1 seed. That's what happens when you're the 1 seed. That's why you should strive to be the 1 seed. You have home court throughout the playoffs, and you play an easy first round. Tim Legler talked about this. Why has he not won 60 games yet? Dude, fuck 60 games. Why haven't we won like 55? Why have we never been a 3 seed? Because the West is hard, maybe? No, I get the West is hard, but other teams do it. The Thunder won 68 games in a harder conference. Also, Mavs get injured around December. Yeah. Poor roster plus Luka having a month of meat sweats to start the season. Not meat sweats. Last year's Mavs was the first time he had a roster construction to win a bunch, but he only had that after the trade deadline. I think that's fair. I'm trying to think about how I want to word what I'm about to say without it coming across the way that it will almost certainly come across. I think everything you're saying is fair. If Luka's the player I know he can be, and again, I'm talking top 10, top 15 player to ever play the game. Right? How have we not just propelled our team into like a 55-win season at any point? I guess that's just kind of where I'm at. Can we start to get that? I know it's roster construction, but I've seen again, I'm talking about a different level of player that I think Luka is capable of being. Luka obviously doesn't care about the regular season like he does in the playoffs. I think that's fair, but I do think that that was one of my big fucking things entering this year. You guys could go back to the start of the season and hear me talking about it. Where I was basically like, please take this regular season seriously. Please take this regular season seriously. Please win a bunch of games. Please get a home court advantage. Please. Small headband Luka was unstoppable. Yeah, that was. That was an unstoppable era. Isn't this the weakest link era, though? Yeah, I mean, that's why this Lakers team was never winning the finals at any point. Like, their roster's not good enough to win the finals. Largely due in part because they don't have the guys, because they'll always just have somebody on the court who's a weak link in some way. It's funny you say that. The weakest link portion of it. Luka, far and away the weakest link defensively. Okay? So, as I was saying earlier, has to get to a point, and we've seen this at times throughout his career, but has to get to a point where consistently, even if he might be the weakest link on defense, if the team is built the way around Luka that it needs to be built, and he is the weakest link on defense, even if he's the weakest link on defense, it's not weak. It's just the least good link. If that makes sense. Who is OKC's weakest link? I mean, it depends on what million lineups they put out there. It's slow starts to the season overall. We talked about this all the time when he's on the Mavs. Yeah, none of the stuff I'm saying right now, I have not said a million times already. So I want to be very clear about that. It feels like I'm singling out him or I'm saying all this now because he's not on the Mavs anymore. None of the stuff I've said, I have not said a million times and gotten yelled at about it a million times. Is Gobert the most underrated, overrated player ever? Probably the most unfairly shit on player in a long time, at least. The most unfairly shit on high impact player in a long time. Yeah. Look, man, just to put a bow on this, I think Luka can be one of the best players in the history of the game, and he already is one of the best players in the history of the game. But I'm saying one of the all-time top 10, top 15 players. Look at those guys. Look at those guys. The league's been around a long time, and a lot of fantastic players have played in the league. Let me just look. Right, top 20 NBA players ever. But let's just look at some of these. I mean, I'll just look at a fucking Basketball Reference. Here you go. Oh, this is perfect because look at the accolades for these guys. And it's perhaps the most controversial question in sports. Okay. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Six-time MVP, six-time NBA champion. Charles Barkley. I don't know how many people have Chuck in the top 10, top 15, but an MVP, 11-time All-NBA, right? Fantastic career. Kobe, 5-time champion. Wilt, 4-time MVP, 2-time champion. Tim Duncan, 2-time MVP, 5-time champion. Dr. J, 4-time MVP, champion. KG, MVP, champion. Artis Gilmore, MVP, ABA champion. LeBron, his resume goes without needing to be stated at this point in time. MJ, same thing. Karl Malone, 2-time MVP, never a champion. Moses Malone, 3-time MVP, champion. Reggie Miller, top 20 NBA players of all time. That's a bad. We're not even really mentioning him because he's not on this list. Okay, let's be serious. Dirk, MVP, champion. Shaq, MVP, champion. 4-time champion. Okay, what is this list exactly? Chris Paul, top 20 player ever. Okay, maybe a different list. Okay, basically what I'm getting at, The Reggie Miller. Don't know about that. Look, Hakeem Olajuwon on this list, and I don't think Hakeem Olajuwon's outside the top 10, I'll tell you that much. But on this list, Hakeem Olajuwon is 11th overall. Two-time champion. I'm just saying, in order to reach this stratosphere, and hey, you know what? Maybe I'm overdoing it. Maybe I'm overdoing it. That list is only based on win shares. Oh, okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. I mean, people have talked about Steph. Like after winning the fourth ring, is it's like, oh, now he's in the top 10 conversation. Steph Curry. Two-time MVP, one of them unanimous, four-time champion. So again, maybe I'm overdoing the Luka expectations and I need to tone them down a little bit. But the moment he stepped into the league, I thought this guy could be a top 10, top 15 player in the history of the sport. He's that good. The scoring ability he has, the playmaking ability he has at that size. They're all two-way players with extraordinary skills and athleticism. Luka only has one of those traits. But see, Steph, I think, is pretty much unanimously a top 15 player at this point in time, all time. Steph's not great defensively. But you want to know what Steph was capable of achieving defensively? Steph was capable of being passable defensively and even borderline like above average defensively as a small guard. Yeah, and Magic Johnson wasn't great defensively. He's considered a top 10 player ever. Like, Luka just has to want to get there. Yeah, look, as much as I love Dirk, he wasn't a great defender for much of his career. Yeah, Jokic is almost certainly a top 15 player of all time, and he's not great defensively. So if you have offensive skills that set you apart from everyone else, you will have an argument, because that's the most important thing. Being a great scorer, a great playmaker, these are all the most important skills a player can have. Being a cone on defense only matters before you win a ring. Well, the thing is all of those guys were able to reach points at least where they were passable defensively, like even Jokic. And Luka has reached that point before, but it just has to be consistent. Okay? There has to be a mental switch, man. And I think he's gotten better with refs, but there's still moments where refs take him out of games. We've seen it this year. Refs take him out of games, and not the way you typically think. That was never my biggest gripe. Yeah, obviously, not getting back on defense, yelling at a ref, this is fucking stupid. Has to be out of his game. Has to. That can't happen ever, okay? But the worst, the one that always pissed me off, is when he'd get pissed off at refs and then just sell for the next, 6 possessions offensively because he's trying to draw a foul call. He's trying to prove to the ref, I'm getting fouled. I'm going to sell for 5 straight possessions, throwing up dog shit shots so you can call a foul call. So that's where I'm at with Luka, just to put a bow on it, man. I only say all of this, and I'm only what you might think harsh on Luka, because I do think he could be. If I didn't think Luka could be this good, I wouldn't care. Okay? We'd be talking about how can the only thing I'd be talking about is, well, yeah, Luka had a pretty good series. Like, he scored 30 points a game. But the Lakers need to do X, Y, and Z to build a perfect team around him. I think he needs to be better. That's it. And he can be better. He can be better. And so he should be better. 54 minutes. We haven't had a talk like that in a long time. We haven't had a talk like that in a long time. Very important summer. And don't get me wrong, the Lakers have a long way to go. So I was listening to these spaces last night, and people were like, Twitter spaces are hilarious. And people were like, LeBron needs to sign a vet minimum let's start here. LeBron's never fucking taking a vet minimum, no matter what. LeBron's not even taking a mid-level, okay? For a lot of different reasons. So let's start there. One, he's too good for that. Also, two, do you realize the precedent that would set and the message that would send to other players and teams across the league if LeBron fucking James is taking a minimum? Is this a Lakers channel? Well, it's one of the biggest talking points of the postseason. Okay. If you're asking why don't I talk about the Mavericks more, what the fuck am I going to say about the Mavericks right now, man? Like, seriously. And God bless, like, DLLS and Nick for having to do Maverick stuff every day. I don't want to talk about them. I have nothing to say about them. Like, what is there to say about the Mavericks for, like, the next month? Nothing. You think Braun could leave the Lakers? I was thinking about this morning. It came out that LeBron, and this could all just be posturing and stuff, but there was a report today. I think it was Windy, I want to say, but somebody reported it, that LeBron's not even interested in taking a discount. That last summer, I was just about to say this. That last summer, LeBron was open to taking less money if it opened up the full mid-level if the Lakers were able to go get somebody. That apparently is off the table this summer, and it led me to thinking, is there a world where LeBron changes teams? So it's slightly unplugged. Slightly unplugged is happening again. Okay. I'll be back earlier this time than I was last year. Last year I came back on my birthday, July 12th, and we were like weeks removed. This year I'm coming back July 3rd, I think. So I'll be back right after all of the shit pops off. So I'll miss some stuff. If I were to come back and Nick were to tell me LeBron's on a different team, it would very much surprise me, but I don't think it would feel like it was an impossibility. How about that? So my James thinking about finishing his career elsewhere in pursuit of a fifth ring. When posed that question, both league sources close to James and team sources would not rule that possibility out, and that was before the revealing elimination game. So this is always kind of a LeBron tactic, though, to be fair. Let's toss around the retirement stuff. Let's toss around, I don't like being here that much as you guys think. Like, I could leave. Like, this is always average LeBron leverage tactic. Absolutely. But look, man, they lose in round 1 in 5 games. Their team's not good enough. They don't have cap space. And I'm thinking about their roster right now and the money that they have. Even if LeBron took a vet minimum, do they even have cap space? I don't think people fully grasp how the cap works. Like, do they even get cap space if LeBron takes a vet minimum? Does that open up anything for them? Only if he takes a vet min? LeBron taking a vet minimum is fucking hilarious. I mean, how much cap space is that even open? Because you've got Luka on $50 million. Rui's making a decent amount. Reeves is making a decent amount. Dodo's in double figures. You've still got Kleba's number. Like that, you probably have like $10 million to spend. Yeah, the vet minimum shit is so stupid. It's not even worth talking about. But this is interesting because I'm starting to think: is there an opt-in and trade scenario here for LeBron? LeBron's not just going to leave in free agency. An opt-in and trade scenario where the Lakers say we're fully going in on Luka. LeBron, thank you so much. Let's kind of mutually discuss this. Giannis? That would be... That ain't happening. But that would be... I mean, I'm trying to think if there's a 3-team thing that could happen there, but no. Because there's no way, like the Bucks wouldn't want LeBron in return for Giannis. What the fuck does that do for them? 2, why would LeBron want to go to Milwaukee? Like, why would LeBron want to go to Milwaukee? Lakers committed to 189 next year with LeBron. Isn't the salary cap like 150 mil or something like that? So you're getting like $6 million to spend if LeBron, on like a free agent, if LeBron does not opt in. I guess you'd have the full mid-level. How much does Garland make? LeBron for Garland? Guys, the Lakers aren't fucking trading for Giannis. I'm not even entertaining it. LeBron to Golden State for Jimmy? LeBron has a no trade? No, for sure. I mean, LeBron getting traded would be because LeBron wants to get traded. Let's go there. Let's start with that. I think at this stage in his career, LeBron's only going somewhere where he's basically ring chasing. So yes, Dallas is on the table. Yes, guys, the Mavs. Come on, LeBron. Put your Maverick jersey on. It always kind of felt like LeBron was going to retire a Mav. It always just did kind of feel like it, didn't it? Celtics. The Bucks wouldn't try to move Giannis to LA if that's where they told him where he wanted to go. Well, also, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Giannis stuff. What is it, like 4 years left on Giannis's deal? I think 3 with a player option. So basically 3. Maybe it's 2 with a player option. What am I getting in return from the Lakers? Like, I know the Luka return was bad, but at least the Mavs got AD. Like, what am I getting if I'm the Bucks? Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt in 1 pick and a swap? Like, that's what I'm getting for fucking Giannis Antetokounmpo? Like, so, hey, sorry, Giannis. You're going to have to give us another team or we're not trading you. Like, we're down to trade you. We want you to be happy, but the Lakers are off the table. We have to get... We have to get something better than that. Four different reports about LeBron in 2 days. So this is all posturing, but I got to say, the report that I saw that LeBron was not all that interested in taking a pay cut, even if it meant opening up the mid-level, that was the first one I saw that made me perk up a little bit. That was the first one where I was like, huh. Here it is. LeBron James is not expected to take a pay cut if he stays with the Lakers. If James returns to the Lakers, though, league sources say he's not expected to consider the kind of pay cut that was in play around this time a year ago. Last summer, James took a discount of approximately $2.7 million to help the Lakers stay under the second apron and maintain roster flexibility. Gimmick, you guys think? Reeves can be flipped for mini firsts? Mini? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, Orlando would probably trade a good amount for Austin Reeves. But again, if I'm Milwaukee, man, I'm sorry. If I'm Milwaukee, and I don't even think you can't even compare the Milwaukee situation to the Dallas Luka trade situation. I got to get some players to get my fan base hype about, because one thing you have to remember is they don't have their picks. So that's great that I'm trading for Austin Reeves and maybe I'm flipping him, but like, so what? We're going to be shit for the next 6 years and we don't have our picks at all during that stretch. Reeves for Suggs? Ew, no. I don't think the Magic do that. I'm trying to think about LeBron destinations, and they are kind of hard. It's very similar to the KD one because it's like 50 million. You have to come up with $50 million in salaries. KD for LeBron. Brooklyn. Oh, hold on. LeBron and Giannis to the Nets. LeBron and Giannis to the Nets this summer. How about that? Katie for LeBron makes some sense fit-wise. But, like, why would LeBron... So, if LeBron demands a trade from the Lakers... And keep in mind, LeBron will hold the Lakers hostage. He'll go wherever the fuck he wants to go in a trade. Okay? Because he's LeBron. And he's clutch sports. You just do what you're told. This is posturing. This is LeBroning. Okay? Knicks. OG. LeBron for OG and Mitchell Robinson. Is it crazy to say? I don't think I would do that if I'm the Knicks. Like, honestly, why would I do that if I'm the Knicks? Like, I'm trading for a 41-year-old. I'm trading OG, who's, like, really good for us, for a 41-year-old. Giannis and LeBron to the Nets. Hold on now. I'm thinking about something here. But you get so much merchandise, I guess. That's not how they've moved, really, though. Do a tankathon spin if the Mavericks land the first pick. LeBron's coming to Dallas. Okay. One spin. Oh my God. Brooklyn wins it. Come on, LeBron. Put your Brooklyn jersey on. Yeah, it's time to get it on. Yeah, come to Brooklyn. We're still spinning. Oh, we got Dallas move up to 4. That only took us about 7 spins. We're still spinning. We're still spinning. We're still spinning. Still spinning. Still spinning. Still spinning. We're still spinning, folks. We're still simming it. We're simming the lottery, folks. Folks, we're simming the lottery. Is this button broken? Dallas moves up to 3. It only took us about 20 to 25. We did it. We did it. All right, let's close out this stream. We got a game 7 tomorrow. Fuck yeah, man. Cannot wait. I'm excited about the Rockets-Warriors game tonight as well. I do think the Warriors close it out, but I'm rooting for a game 7. Don't get me wrong. Tyrese Halliburton's dad's not going to be in attendance at the next few games. Or the next games. Okay, that's fine. We got to close out this stream by giving our flowers and our love to Jalen Brunson, who hit the game-winning 3. Dominant performance last night for Brunson. 40 bomb in a closeout game on the road. Game 6. 40 piece, including a nasty game winner. A nasty game winner against Asar Thompson, who, you want to know something? Did a hell of a job on Jalen Brunson all night until it didn't matter anymore. What a shot. What a move. I mean, not only did he hit this over Asar, who, again, was playing good defense on him, but he fucking... Yeah, he had him on skates. He had him dancing. He needed a map. Yeah, he was struggling in the fourth before this. But what a move. Game winner. And what makes this even more cold-blooded is, yes, he was having a struggle fest in the fourth quarter up until then. Been dealing with the ankle injury all series long. On the road, game 6, you make this comeback. 40 points to close out this game. The Pistons fans were incredible. This series was amazing, by the way. The Pistons fans were awesome. The building, so much energy, so much electricity. They're chanting, fuck Brunson, flopper. I mean, they're going after him. He's in hostile territory.
Brunson holding. Knicks trying to wait till the end. Brunson puts up a three. Bang!
Bang! Bang! Joel at the 5, where do you rank Brunson's crossovers on the all-time crossovers? I mean, he's nasty with it. That much is certain. Is it better than the Austin Reeves behind the back cross? I'm not sure. The go-to Austin Reeves behind the back crossover. Every possession. Wonder what that series looks like if the refs call actual fouls. Pistons fans very upset about the way the game was officiated. I mean, every fan base is upset about the way the game is officiated when they lose. That's just how it goes. Bang! Bang! Could have had another game 7. The Pistons choked this game away. Cade was struggling down the stretch. If I'm a Pistons fan, I know it stings. What I would say to Pistons fans, hold your head high, man. That was a hell of a season, obviously. Cinderella type season. Really kind of the story of the NBA. If it weren't for some of the crazy, outside of trades and roster moves, the story of the NBA this season was probably the Pistons and their crazy turnaround. Cade solidified himself as a star throughout the regular season, and he did struggle down the stretch of games in this series. But you know what? Those are stepping stones. Those are things that you learn from. Cade will be back, and this is how it goes. This is how it goes. You always think, you know, your first postseason, it always goes like this. Great season away, you got screwed. Great way to end 82 games worth of effort. I mean, the Knicks were a better team. That much is true as well. Although the Pistons played them well. I mean, did they have leads in every single game of this series? If you told me that was true, like fourth quarter leads in every single game, I would believe you. Motorcade got a flat tire in the clutch. He ran over a nail, unfortunately. Ran over a nail. Shams bomb. ESPN Dave reports LeBron MCL sprain. Oh yeah, LeBron's hitting all of them. LeBron is doing all of it. That's hilarious. We're getting every single LeBron every single LeBron point we're hitting. I'm going to threaten retirement. Story to file at ESPN.com. LeBron James suffered a grade 2 MCL sprain in his left knee from his collision with Dante DiVincenzo in Game 5. Oh. 3 to 5 week injury recovery timeline. Okay. So that little collision where LeBron was on the ground for a bit. Grade 2 MCL sprain. Get well soon, GOAT. But this is the LeBron's greatest hits. I'm thinking about retiring. I might not be here again. I might change teams. You never know. Also, I was hurt. It is the LeBron. We're checking every single box. We're checking all the boxes. You gotta love the guy. You do. So, anyways, Brunson. Just want to give my flowers to Brunson. Look, has Brunson reached the stage as a grifter where it is really brutal to watch? Yes. I was texting this basketball group text with my friends that are basketball fans. We like basketball and we enjoy the sport, so we made a group text together about being friends that enjoy basketball together. We were texting, and I just kind of made a joke that was like, I would not put a Knicks game on for somebody who's like, oh, I don't know about basketball, like I'm flopping, like all the stuff I don't like about the game is X, Y, and Z. If I'd be like, no, dude, let me show you a game. I would not put a Knicks game on because Brunson's out of fucking control. Okay. Like Brunson is out of control, and with him beat out and sidelined, Brunson holds the title far and away. Okay. We haven't seen anything like this since peak LeBron. or peak Embiid. We can say, you know, Shea's a grifter, absolutely. Luka's a grifter, absolutely. Brunson's a grifter, but the flopping is out of control. Okay. Well, yeah, peak Harden, but that's years ago at this point. It's out of control. But with that being said, he's still a bad motherfucker, man. He's still a bad motherfucker. Bad. In a good way, obviously. Nasty as it gets, man. Shea foul baiting accusations is who Brunson is. I mean, Shea foul baits, don't get me wrong. Bad Cade pass or bad Malik hands. I think it was a bit of a mixture of both. Thought Cade made the right read there. The footwork, I mean, the step throughs, the post moves, just the footwork at his size is unbelievable. I mean, that play he had late in the game where he's going baseline, he's doing the Nash dribble on Schroeder, who, by the way, the Pistons, if they're smart, are keeping Schroeder. Right, let's just start there. The Pistons know what they're doing. Dennis Schroeder's on their team next year. And if Dennis Schroeder, for his career, should stay with the Pistons. But if for some reason Dennis Schroeder's available and we're talking about somebody who you could maybe get for cheap, he is number one on my Dallas wish list. I want to start there. Number one is Dennis Schroeder. But my Lord, Brunson is just so nasty. And I'm happy for him. I really am. I don't want to like relitigate all of this stuff. I don't want to do the Mavs, how they fucked this all up. But I'm going to do it really quickly here because I think it's worth being said. I did this big thing a while ago about KP, where I was like, the Mavs did not fumble KP. The Mavs did not fumble KP. The Mavs did not fumble KP. And I still stand by that. They did fumble Brunson, but maybe not in the way you're thinking. Brunson, they fumbled initially. The initial fumble was 2018 draft night, one of the greatest draft nights a team has ever had. Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson selected with your 2 picks. Hard to do much better. This was the move I was talking about right here. This move on Schroeder. I mean, the balance to stay on his feet there. Good Lord. But the initial crime from the Mavs was the contract they gave Ricky Brunson that allowed him to be an unrestricted free agent. Right? That was part of the problem. I have defended and will continue to defend the Mavs front office's hesitancy to extend Brunson the summer that he was eligible, because he was coming off of a dreadful playoff performance. Dreadful. And I'm happy Brunson's turned into who he is, but if Brunson is even like below average in that series against the Clippers in 2021, even below average, the Mavs honestly win that series. He was terribly bad. And there were tons of concerns. We were all having them. Tons of concerns at one. Brunson's not really, he wasn't like a great catch and shoot guy. And how does he fit next to Luka? He's bad defensively. Against a team like the Clippers, who have these longer wings and these athletes, he gets played off the court. Like, who is he as a player? We weren't really sure. We were not very sure. So them not extending him then, I thought was defensible, honestly. Now, the reporting on the midseason extension, I still think is iffy. I guess it's been reported enough, and I guess Cuban outright said it, that maybe Brunson was willing to take a $55 million, 4 years, $55 million, which would have been the best contract in the NBA by a lot at this point. 4 years, $55 million in January. He was willing to sign that. I still question that, to be honest with you. The Mavs didn't want to give it to him because the Mavs were openly shopping him, looking to trade him. And then, of course, the rest is history. Jalen Brunson has that postseason run against the Jazz. Luka's out with an injury. Brunson picks up the slack, dominates, was incredible against the Jazz. Played well against the Suns and just was done by the Warriors series. But, the rest is history. He goes to the Knicks in free agency. Mavs never really got a chance to match, and I'm not sure that they were going to. It's a great contract. The writing was on the wall. Like, I was digging my head in the sand, but the writing was on the wall that he was on his way to the Knicks. But I'm going to say this. So, yes, the Mavs fucked up. How did the Mavs fumble Jalen Brunson? Letting him walk for nothing. A player of this caliber, letting him leave in free agency. That's always a fuck up, right? But I think it worked out for both parties, at least. I mean, nothing's worked out for the Mavs anymore. Like, it just tossed everything out after the Luka trade. But it ended up working out for both parties in at least the next couple of years. The reality is, Brunson does not become Brunson on the Mavs. All right. This All-NBA, getting MVP votes, All-Star, I would even say All-Star level. Brunson's never turning into that in Dallas. Ever. Okay? And I love the guy. I really do. Great player. Needs the ball in his hands. Ball-dominant guy. Has become a very, very elite catch-and-shoot guy. Would have been good playing off of Luka as a catch-and-shoot guy. He would have improved in attacking mismatches and stuff like that. But was never going to turn into the Jalen Brunson that he turned into, right? I mean, his usage rate, especially in the fourth quarter, the ball's in his hands every single fucking time down the floor. Like, it is insane to watch. And he's great. It should be in his hands. There are times you're watching, you're like, you guys do this. Well, like one cat post up, hey, cat's got him on him. We're not going to post him up. That's never happening with the Mavs and Luka. So Brunson goes to New York, gets his chance to fly, embraces New York. New York fucking loves him. It's worked out for him, and I'm happy he's there for him. I really am. Did the Mavs fumble a little bit? Yeah. Would it have been better for the Mavs franchise if they traded him for picks and shit to the Magic? Sure. But it's worked out for the Knicks, obviously, and for Jalen Brunson, and I'm happy that he's able to spread his wings and fly. Right? I feel good for him. The Mavs, look, the reality is Kyrie, I think Kyrie was a better option next to Luka than Brunson was. I'll still stand by that. Even with Brunson becoming who he is. Because again, I don't think Brunson doesn't become who he is on the Mavs. Okay? Kyrie's just better next to Luka. Better off guard. More what Luka needed. And that's just it. What up, B-Dot? Christian Wood move afterwards was insane. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. In a moment of weakness and coping, and it was 100% coping, I thought the Mavs still got better that offseason because their front court problems were so significant. I was like, yeah, they can replace Brunson in the aggregate, but they got sitters now. Yes, Kyrie and Luka were a better fit. Just again, I thought Kyrie was a better off guard. Definitely Homer Copium. Yes. If I were a fan of another team, I'd be like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, what? Again, no, we did not know. Nobody knew Jalen Brunson was going to turn into this. Nobody did. To be fair, it wasn't like we knew what Jalen Brunson we were losing. Some might say slightly biased. That's true. So anyways, huge shout out to Jalen Brunson. Just incredible player, man. Super happy for him. I love how he embraces it too. You don't think about him like that, right? You don't think about him as this villain. He doesn't do all the stuff other villains do. NBA heels, where they're talking shit, they're getting into fights, all of this type of stuff. It's the flopping. And every fan base that he plays is going to hate his guts because of the flopping, which is on another level again. But man, he embraces it. He embraces the boos, the fuck Brunson chants. Like, he soaks all that shit in, man. I love it. Perfect guy for New York. Did you see GTA 6 got pushed back? Yeah, I did. I'm not, like, I'll play every Rockstar game, obviously. I'm not, like, a massive GTA guy. I'm obviously going to play GTA 6. It's just when that game is in my hands and I'm playing it, that's when I care about GTA 6. I'm not like, oh my God, we're only 5 months away. Like, I'm just, when that game's in my hand and we're playing it, that's when I'll be happy about it. That's all. GTA 6 delayed before GTA 6. True. Oh, man. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Salute to him, man. I'm happy for him. He deserves everything that he's getting and then some. Of course I played Red Dead, yeah. Well, we'll be live tonight for a big Rockets, a huge Rockets, huge Warriors game 6. Can the Rockets force a game 7? Can we get 2 game 7s? Come on, Rockets. I don't think they can, but I got hope in them. We also have a game 7 tomorrow. We'll be live for that, obviously. And Sunday is when we start to get to the second round. We get second round series starting on Sunday. Potential Golden State and Houston game 7, if there is one. If not, then we just get Indiana and Cleveland. I'll be live for that as well, I think. I have to pick someone up from the airport. I mean, we'll see how that all figures out, how that all plays out. And then Monday we get game 1 of Knicks-Celtics series. So I am hoping to go to a Thunder game here in the near future. Honestly, before the Gaff and PJ trade, Nico had made them some real bad mistakes, and later the obvious one. I mean, no GM has a perfect and flawless track record. I saw LeBron MCL. Pretty fucking funny. All right. Love you guys. If you're listening to this on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. I love you. Again, playback and here. And hey, if tonight's game gets out of control, we got a drug empire to run. I was wanting to play that yesterday. I had some free time yesterday. I was like, I kind of want to play that Schedule 1 game. But I'm only saving it for stream. Although there's some. When do we get the? When do we get the? No, even Presti's had some misses. Like the Hayward trade last year, when they very easily could have made an actual upgrade to help their roster, was a big miss. The whole trade deadline last year for the Thunder was a miss. Fave game right now, Rivals? Yeah, probably. I haven't played it that much. No, and I want to play the Oblivion remastered. That just feels like one of those. Probably have to wait until things slow down. I'm interested in the idea of doing some more non-sports related content in the near future. I think it would do fine. I think we've kind of reached a point here where I think we've made a solid enough group that would just watch anything, really. I mean, some of my favorite stuff we've ever done on this channel was the 2K series last year. Like that was some of the most fun stuff we've done, I think. If SGA doesn't become the MVP he is today, the PG and Westbrook trade would be horseshit too. I don't know if the PG trade would be considered horseshit. What did they get for Westbrook? I mean, I don't know. The Westbrook trade, the fact that they got anything from Westbrook, dude, no. They got Chris Paul in that trade. And that was immediately like Chris Paul was better than Westbrook immediately. No, I know they got him for a year, but they made the playoffs that year when nobody expected them to make the playoffs. And then they flipped Chris Paul, who was a negative asset at the time. No, Presti definitely had some misses. If you want to say misses, think about, the Harden trade's one of the biggest misses there has ever been. Well, they traded Sabonis for Paul George, didn't they? I hope Pop's doing all right. Like that's sort of the first thing I think about when I see all the stuff that happened today. It was probably coming very soon anyways, but with the multiple health scares and stuff. Paul Chris and George Paul. I mean, the one I'm thinking of is, have the Celtics missed on anything recently? I'm trying to think, like, what move has the Celtics made recently where you're like, oh, that didn't really work out? Well, honestly, I don't... Draft stuff is bad, obviously, but once we get past, like, the top 10, I'm very forgiving with draft mishaps. Because realistically, it's a dart throw. You don't really know. I guess the whole Schroeder thing was a miss. When was that? But I mean, everything they've done in the last couple of years, like, holy fuck. They got KP in a trade in which they also got first round picks for trading Marcus Smart. Oh, Jesus Christ. I am going to watch Celtic City. Kimba was a while back. That was... I mean, Brad Stevens is in full control now of, like, personnel stuff, isn't he? How do I feel about Trae Young? What, like becoming a Mav? No way. I still like Trae Young though quite a bit. Feels like they hit a critical mass of talent where anyone can be good on the Celtics. Well, and part of it is because they have Tatum and Brown. Two guys that you could put anyone alongside pretty much. Yeah, the Derek White trade. Who is bad on the Celtics? They don't have a bad rotation player. They don't have a weak link. The only reason why I'm not like super like the Celtics are winning another championship is because I am worried about their injuries. That's it. Like, I'm a little bit scared about some of the stuff they're dealing with. That's it. They're so good. Track narrative would be crazy. Think about going to the team that initially drafted him and winning a chip where Luka couldn't. I mean, that would be crazy. Should we listen to this space? Reeves is not untouchable. I saw a hilarious tweet, and I was going to quote tweet it, but I didn't know if the guy was joking or not. It was a Lakers fan. He was like, guys, I'm just going to say it. I would trade Austin Reeves for Giannis. That wasn't the exact tweet, but it was something along the lines of like, guys, hot take, but Austin Reeves is not untouchable in a Giannis trade. It's like, oh, okay, guys, they find. Oh, man, wow, yeah. That's a hot dude. That's a scorcher. That's a brave thing to say, man. That's a brave thing to say. Hey, our guy Legs is on TV right now. I'll stand by my Austin Reeves stuff, which is if the Lakers trade him, you better be careful. You better be careful if you trade Austin Reeves. I know you're down on him right now and stuff like that, but he had a great regular season. A great regular season. They're talking about Legs is talking about Gregg Popovich. I listen to that podcast quite a bit. I like hearing Legs talk about basketball. The All City podcast. I've been back in my national podcast bag. I had taken months off of not listening to national podcasts outside of the Bill Simmons one. I'm back in my bag. Been listening to Dunker Spot. Been listening to the Lowe show, obviously, Zach Lowe. I mean, even if I've got time, I'm even throwing Hoop Collective in the rotation. All the All City, All NBA podcast I listen to. I like it a lot. I like Legs, and I like Mora. The Lakers always come out on top. Yeah. Yeah, Zach Lowe's letting it fly a little bit. Yeah. He is. Legs was the only guy who believed in the Mavs last year, and for that, I'll always love him. All right, folks. Again, we'll be live tonight. Rockets, Warriors, Game 6. I believe that game starts at what? Please tell me it's not 9. Please tell me it's not 9. Please tell me it's not 9. Please don't be 9 o'clock. Please don't be 9 o'clock. Please don't be 9 o'clock. $8 o'clock. All right, we'll take 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Should do a 30 local team podcast in 30 days segment. Then rank the podcast. Oh, that would feel mean. I don't like doing that. I know it doesn't come off as mean, but when you rank things and people are last, it just comes off as mean. All right. Thank you all for coming out. All of the OGs, you guys know I love you very much. Could have spent your Friday morning anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys don't regret it. Donations, members, you guys never have to do that. Helps you out tremendously. Makes you feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you all later tonight. Again, Rockets, Warriors Game 6. Love you all. Talk to you all later. Bye.